Kevin, you gonna buy a beaver? Good evening, and welcome back to you. Thanks for being here in the Late Night Playset. It's been a while. I lied to you in the beginning of the month. I said we'd be back with new episodes every week. Well, last week we weren't here. But we weren't here for a good reason, because our producer Arielle could not be here last week. She was under the weather. But the good news is she's here today. Hello.
Hi, I'm back, and I still sound like shit.
Yeah, your voice is shot.
This is way better than it was. This is like, I feel like I have a full voice now after not having a voice for so long. So, yeah, I'm happy to...
So this is the improved?
This is the improved. I feel much better. I have drugs now. It was like, I had a fever for like 5 days.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk at all for like 6.
Insert your own joke here.
Yep.
Yeah, well, welcome back. We're very, very happy to have you
Thank
back.
you.
It's been a while. It's only been a week that we weren't here, but I feel like we had the big break before that, so it all kind of has glommed together, and I feel like we didn't have good news to share for so long, so there wasn't like a real big reason to do a show.
Mm-hmm.
So just on the catch-up front, I was going to say good evening. Today is Tuesday, but this is April 1st, which is the last time we did one. It's the 15th, correct?
Yes.
I don't know where my blue card is. I love it.
Did you do them for today?
No, I did. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I
you know
think
what?
so.
Who
Anyway,
knows?
it's April 15th, 2025. Our
Tax
guest.
day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Not
How do you
California.
forget that? Our guest this evening is an old friend, a friend from a long time, I should say. I met Katie Daryl. She's hosted many shows over the years, but she was hosting a show called Deadline, this week on Deadline, and I used to watch it all the time. So when she reached out wanting to use the Back to the Future time machine for a shoot, I was actually quite excited because I knew who she was, and I liked the show. So we did a segment together for her show, but that was, I had to look it up today. It was 2011.
Wow.
That's a lifetime ago.
That is
that's the year
5
Nicole was
lifetimes
diagnosed. I mean, that is like, what? So,
Wow.
and we worked together whenever we could on shows here and there. She always had a different show, and we were always at Comic-Con. And one year we went to Kauai together. It'll be great. It'll be great to catch up with her. I haven't seen her. She's in the green room now as we speak. So when she comes in, that'll be the first time we all see one another. Her husband, Ed, her husband's awesome. Her whole family's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. Why am I talking? There was stuff on the blue card I want to share, but it's not here. Is it not out there somewhere?
It's not, well, let me take a little
I don't want to
cruise.
send everyone on a wild goose chase.
I'm
It
gonna
may
take
be.
a cruise.
It's entirely. I threw the trash out right before the show, so it's entirely.
I'm not going down to the trash.
Okay, all right. This is hilarious. Thank you. Let's see. We've got some comments on YouTube. We'll let those rack up. And actually, we'll do them while she's going. Good to see you back, amigo. Thank you, Tori Alonso. Great to see you in Hawaii the other day. Speaking of Hawaii, sent me a picture from Alohaville. Happy to be back. Thank you for being with us.
So far, no
Got this like Betty Boop thing going on with the voice. I know, she totally did. Is your house on fire, clock? Don't throw me down, clock. All right. Well, this doesn't do me anything. Byron Bowers was here 2 weeks ago. I did. I threw it away. Oh God!
Well,
all
there's
right.
no sign of them.
I know the place isn't that big, right?
No.
Okay. Well, Katie Daryl's here today. Newcomb's Ranch. I can't say anything about it, but finally there's good news. Finally there's good progress. Finally things are moving in the right direction. For a long time, couldn't say anything, and it wasn't good even if I could say anything. So anyway, just stay tuned. Usual, stay tuned. But finally, things are moving in the right direction. You can probably hear it from the energy in my voice. I'm a different person when that's all working and going well. How are you guys? We've got Manuel Carrillo with us again. I don't know if we'll be able to see him or not, but he's here. Wait, there's a new there's the new camera. There he is.
Hey,
There he is.
come on over.
delay.
You want to sit on Santa's lap? Come and sit on Santa's lap and tell us how you are.
Oh, man. Oh, hello. Oh, this feels really
Hi,
nice.
yeah,
Oh, it's enchanted.
I know. It is an enchanted lap, I gotta tell you.
My goodness, this is.
So tell us something about your trip.
It was the best birthday present I've ever given to myself, and for ringing in 40 years old, I think I did it right.
Oh, I forgot. It's the big
Love it.
40. Congratulations.
Happy birthday.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Oh, there's the camera. Hello.
It's right there.
Yeah, getting used to it all. Yeah, all right. But that's all I'm going to say.
Great, you smell good.
Thank you.
Glad you took a shower.
This is hilarious. It's off the rails already. And then the other thing too is that Katie is a professional host. Like, she does this very well. So. Sorry.
Pressure's on, buddy.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm
I'll
kidding.
just say sorry. And then also I should apologize to any of our regular viewers who tuned in last time expecting the regular show. We went in a different direction
You know what?
last
Sometimes
time.
it's going to be like that, okay?
Arielle's podcast bled into ours a little bit more than usual last week. And Byron seemed fine with it. More than anybody I've ever seen.
You just have to be careful when asking me how my weekend was, because sometimes it's going to be on a weekend that I worked a party.
Yep.
So,
Facts.
you know.
And he wanted to know more. And there was so anyway, go back if you want to know, go back and watch that episode. And I have a feeling in the future there will be no way to not do a show about it. Just to see my level of discomfort throughout the hour. Should be interesting and amusing watch. All right, so I don't have anything on the blue card. Do we want to just bring Katie in?
Yeah,
I intended. So I intended to just for you, the home viewer, we were going to play the Back to the Future. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. This is exciting. Oh my goodness gracious! It's been so long. Yay! Thank you for being here.
Well, if ever there's a time
You look great.
to wear a tiger gold lame suit, is to see you.
That's what
It's
it is.
perfect.
That's
It's
what it
honestly
is.
perfect.
Here, have a seat
This-
right over
okay,
here. Yeah.
sorry.
And you had a super cute sparkle bag too, which I love a
I
sparkle.
do. I come in with a little bit of flair.
I love it.
You know.
Are you a Leo?
No, Gemini.
You've got
so.
some Leo energy though.
Do
Between
I?
the hair and
The lion's mane,
you know?
right?
Yeah, you might be a Leo rising. I
I've always wanted to learn and know more about astrology.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally know nothing. So I love when people are like, oh, Leo rising and it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I literally nod as if I'm like, yeah. And I have no idea what you're talking about. But I feel like it's something I could learn really in just like an hour like TED Talk, right? Or is it more complicated than
It's
that?
way more complicated, but you
Oh,
can get
okay.
some basics down. You can get some basics down. It's pretty interesting.
All right. So I apologize then. I guess it takes more than that.
It's so good to see you. Welcome. I'm
So
sorry to
happy to
interrupt
see
you
you.
two, but like this, you're blowing my mind because you look exactly the same, which is
Aw.
not seems
Well, I
not
did
possible.
hear you. I appreciate that you did the correction. You said
did.
my old friend. I was like, whoa. And my friend that I've known for a long time.
I heard it, and
my
Nicole,
elderly friend.
Yeah, my elder.
Nicole corrects me from beyond
Yeah.
the grave. She still catches me, and then I hear it.
Yeah, like, listen, dummy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your secret is, but you're doing great, obviously.
You know what? Any product and every product. There's like 7 layers of
You're like a
concrete
dip.
on my feet.
You're like a really good
yeah,
dip.
Yeah, exactly. There's some guac in there. You have to pay extra for the guac, though, you know.
Of
Always.
course,
Oh,
upcharge.
yeah,
of
It's
course.
worth it.
Yeah, it always is.
How are you? How's life?
Life
You look
is
incredible,
good.
but that's
Thank
only
you.
part of it.
Right, yeah, exactly. That was the whole thing. You know, life is good. You know better than everyone. There's the highs, there's the lows, there's the weird. A lot of weird, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Are you
but
dealing with weird?
I'm dealing with weird right now, Jay. I'm dealing with weird.
I live in weird, so give me what you got.
But, well, you know, so you were talking. So, I mean, I don't know if I should dive right into it, but, you know,
Do
for
it.
the longest time, I did 22 years working and having the best job of my entire life, working at AXS TV. It was the network that Mark Cuban created.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it
Yes.
was called HDNet. That's when
That's
we met.
when we met. Oh, so it was the same thing? It was just a
Yeah.
rebrand?
It was a rebrand.
thought it was
He had
two.
named it HDNet. It was the world's first high-definition TV network.
Yeah.
Which
Hence
is,
the name.
Right, yeah, exactly, exactly. And I, you know, had the pleasure of working there for 22 years, starting out as, you know, an EP and a host. And
Starting out as an EP and a
I
host.
know, I was not expecting
And then I worked
that.
my way up from there.
I did. I became vice president of programming
Yeah,
and
that's true.
content. I got, you know, I got a really fun title. And I got to meet and make like awesome television. And I mean, in the last 24 months alone, I created 15 original series for the shows, 200 hours of programming, working with people from John Stamos and Carney Wilson to Dee Snider and Sebastian Bach. Just like, and like Jackie Tone, you know, from that new hit show that everyone loves, Nobody Wants This on Netflix. Such like an interesting, eclectic mix of people that I've had the opportunity to work with. But you know, the network. I don't know if the financials. I probably have non-disclosure or something.
Oh, I see. It's one of those.
But they halted all original programming, and if you don't, if you're not going to make new programming, you don't need the person that makes the new programming or hosts it or does the voiceover for it. So I got the old layoff, and it was weird. Like it was weird when that happened because it was like leaving my family, my home, 22 years. And now, mind you, Mark Cuban is no longer really a voice at the network. He sold his majority share back before COVID. So
It always kind of felt like his baby. I always kind of felt like it was immune to some of the industry bullshit because it sort of was sidelined.
It was weird. I had to literally reach out to him and be like, hey, man, like, I got let go today. And he's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, you'll live on in repeats just like me on MSNBC. And I was like, it's not really about that.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same.
Not quite. I mean, I appreciate that, but I don't get residuals at your network. So, so it's weird. I've been out here like schlepping resumes and trying to find a job, but also realizing like I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And you get
Oh my God.
asking that question of like, well, what would be your dream job? And you're like, well, no, I had my dream job.
doing it.
So I either want to do that again or what's the challenge? But what I've really appreciated like the most is like taking a moment and being able to step back, have that time to breathe, and like appreciate being a mom. I have a 9-year-old, and he's my jam.
What a gift.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at you making lemonade.
I know, right?
It's pretty awesome. That was our bag for a long time.
Well, you know, I still have my severance check, so I've got some time.
Well, in our industry, to have time with your family is so rare.
So rare.
It's so demanding, and we work so many, like, you're gone 15 hours a day most of the time.
And
so.
I would never have, you know, intentionally taken that stop. And I think I did a really good
That's
job
interesting.
always, like, and again, he's 9, like, we never had a nanny. Never had a nanny, never had a night nurse. I have always 100%, like, between my husband and I, we have juggled, like, this child in the childcare system and, you know, faking it till you make it and, like, you know, working once he went to bed as a baby and things like that, which is exhausting. And probably I should have way more wrinkles, but...
In some ways, you were always doing that. All your shows were your babies, and you were kind of spinning plates all
That show
the time
Deadline
anyway.
that we met doing was
I
so
love
much
that
fun.
show.
Oh my God.
I loved that
This
show.
week on Deadline.
This week on Deadline. I
a
loved
lot
it.
of boobs on that show too.
Yeah,
Oh, is that why I
no.
loved it? Maybe I was of the age where I was supposed to love it. I didn't think about that. I always just liked that it was the weird and the wacky. It was like roadside attractions and things that you'd want to see on a road trip and just kind of odd stories, and that obviously appealed to me.
Yeah.
This would be a stop on the old deadline. Like,
Well,
a guy did a talk show in his house.
This is amazing.
That's not why I brought it up, but you know what I mean. The weird guy in the house with the dining room with the set would have been on deadline.
Yes, you would have.
Instead, I was the weird guy who built the car.
No, which is amazing. I mean, the fact that you had a DeLorean in your garage, what a...
Yeah.
You know, there's a hobby. There's a cocktail talking point, right?
It was rare back then. Nowadays, you drive around L.A. and you run into them. There are so many replicas out there that fans have made.
You do see more, exactly. But I think it's just because I want to blame like TikTok and Instagram too, because people do it because they want the likes. You weren't in it for the likes, Jay.
No, it was before the likes. There were no likes to
There
be
were no
had.
likes?
There were no likes to be had. We put stuff on Facebook back in the day, but I don't think there was even a like button for Facebook in the beginning.
Yeah.
Not back then.
It was truly
We
just
got our
for
thumbs
connecting with
up
friends.
with people driving by. Give
We
it
did.
a thumbs up.
We did. We did. Yeah, that was a
emoji
weird
comes
shoot.
up.
Remember there was the guy in the creepy van kept driving by? There was a weird...
That's my life as a guy in a creepy van. Are you kidding me?
You're constantly avoiding the guy.
I'm constantly.
So he was there
I
for
grew
you.
up in my own childhood. We had a creepy van, so I guess maybe that's why I'm not too terrified of them, because we did own a creepy van.
Oh, you were the creepy van family.
Yes, but our creepy van was had some pizzazz. We had it was one of those windowless, like, vans with the sliding door.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Are you my size 13?
And the big window on the sliding door had like the silver metallic window.
Oh,
so that you could
there's another
not
name
see
for
in.
this van. It's
Right.
very specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you guys, three things. Actually, four. There's probably like 10 things that made it special, but I'll narrow it down to 3.
Top 10.
Okay, first off, the back windows that are always like the small circles, the small tiny circles over the back rear wheels. Those were star-shaped.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So that was an upgrade that my mom and dad opted for, the star window shapes. This is a Ford, by the way. The other bonus thing about this van is its paint job was eggplant purple, but glitter.
Ooh.
So it was a glitter purple van with star windows in the back.
This is actually totally appealing to her. She has a purple car.
And then it had the regular horn, beep beep, whatever, but up above the driver's side on like the left, like above the window and everything,
tell
which
me.
they were crank windows. It had a horn that went ooga, ooga.
Oh my God, keep going, please.
And in the back, obviously there were no seat belts. There was a lap belt. There were 2 captain chairs up front, and those had lap belts. But us kids sat in the back, and it was just a bench with cushions that were not even Velcroed down. So if they hit the brakes, like the cushions
slide?
would fly. Whoa, kids straight through. Like I hit the back of the front seat so many times. You just laugh and get back up.
It sounds terrible, but just the other day I was recounting the memory of my mom had a Beetle when I was a kid, the Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
And I sat we called it the backpack, which was behind the back seat. It was on top
the
of the
seat that were
engine.
the
It was
engine.
where the window and the engine meet. I used to ride back there. Talk about a death sentence.
The
If
fumes.
anything happened. Right. Forget the accident. I would have been
You
knocked
were
out from the
huffing.
fumes.
You grew
Totally.
up huffing. Oh my
Totally.
God.
No wonder I love the smell of
That's why he
gasoline.
did.
There
Weird
we
guy.
go.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, God.
So yeah, I get it.
The sad part about this van is it used to be parked in front of our house in Arizona. I don't know why my parents went parking on the driveway, but it was parked on the street. And one day I was like playing Barbies in like my room, and I heard something. I looked out the window. A drunk driver slammed into the back of the parked car, and I had to go out there. And it was the middle of the day too, right? Because I'm not playing Barbies. And I told my mom and dad, I'm like, hey, I think someone hit the car. And I went out there first on recon, as every like 7-year-old should do by themselves. And I remember
I'll get to the bottom of this.
specifically the guy got out and he handed me beer bottles and asked me to throw them away. And I was like, okay.
Oh
So I
my
went and threw
God.
away beer bottles.
Evidence. There's a word, evidence. You got rid of evidence. Disposed of evidence.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when my
You
first
got a lot of good
crime.
car stories.
Yeah, it turns out.
Yeah.
Do you still have the Camaro?
I still have the Camaro.
Oh man, I'm so happy. I thought maybe being a mom life. Maybe I thought maybe.
No, still have the Camaro.
Tell people what you have.
So it is a 79 Camaro Berlinetta edition. It is baby blue, kind of like a shimmery
Yeah,
baby blue
metallic, definite.
with white pinstripe.
Yes.
She's a Butte Clark. It has the baby blue carpeted interior. One owner before us, it was like some old lady just kept it in her garage. There's one cigarette burn in the middle of the console. And I always just imagine it's like the one time she like let her nephew drive it or something, right? Like
there's a
'cause it
story.
There's
There's
something
definitely
there
a
because
story.
everything else is pristine. My husband and I were going to go buy a Nissan Murano. I mean, I almost think I threw up in my mouth just saying it. Unless the show is sponsored by Nissan Murano.
we're
And in
good.
that
Absolutely
case,
not.
We're
My mom
good.
has one of those. It's not a good thing.
we were going to go get a Nissan Murano. And after going and looking at things on the lot, and we were like, okay, well, we're going to go home and we'll come back tomorrow and, finish the paperwork. I went on eBay and found this thing for sale down in Santa Ana. And I said to my husband, I was like, well, it's not too far from the dealership in Santa Monica. Why we were going down to Santa Monica from WeHo, none of it makes sense. But I was like, why don't we swing by and check out this Camaro? And like, what's the worst thing that happens? We test drive a Camaro today, right? That's pretty rad.
Yeah, the worst case.
And then we came home with the Camaro, and we've had it ever since.
Best
Wow.
case. And now that I know, you're a babe in classics.
Oh,
that's
rad.
funny.
Thank you. This
wondering
is
where she was going.
awesome. Yeah, I love that car. I love it so much. It's a head turner, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially nowadays that the car culture in LA
Yeah.
has like really come back to like I would say the height of it was in the 60s probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal these days.
Well, and here's the thing.
Like you bought it at the right time.
Oh, I totally did. I mean, we stole it. I mean, truly. Like the guy ended up like calling us like 2 or 3 days later, saying like, "Hey, just wanted to let you know, like, I should have charged you a lot more." He didn't even
I
realize.
keep getting calls.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, this is Los Angeles, and I think we all know the level of douchebaggery that is potentially in this town, especially when you are having to show up to places like the Soho House or just like to agencies, and you're pulling up with your stupid car, and like everyone's Mercedes outdoes yours. It doesn't matter. Yours can't be new enough. And I just didn't want to feel like inferior. And I know that that's stupid. That well, you feel you car shouldn't. You do. You feel self-conscious going into places with cars sometimes. And with
in
this
LA
thing,
all the
In
time,
LA,
especially
yeah.
especially in our business because
not in
everyone
this
is
car.
judging you.
show up and people are like, "Tell me about that," and you're like, "Yeah, tell me about it, stud." So,
Actually, you can go. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
oh, that old thing. I don't know.
No big deal.
It is starting to fall apart. I need to find a good mechanic though. Well, it doesn't
the
look
good-
like it's
you know the
falling
right
apart,
people.
but yeah, it's just I think there might be maybe like just a fuse or something. Like all my gauges stopped working.
Oh no.
Goo.
Could be fuse
Could
related.
be a fuse or maybe
Yeah.
something else.
It's correct. I think you're on the money there. You
So
will
one
not
or
be
the other.
surprised. You will not be surprised when you get diagnosed.
I've got some YouTube love over here.
Okay.
We've got Not B-Man says, I remember Katie from the world's greatest tribute bands. She always each episode.
we used to come see you do
Yes.
that live. I forgot. Was
Yes. So we did 8 seasons. First 2 seasons were at the Roxy, and then the
Roxy.
last was at the Whiskey A Go Go.
Okay.
World's Greatest Tribute Bands, which a lot of people get tribute bands and cover bands confused.
Yeah.
Tribute bands are people that like dress up as the Beatles, speak in accents like the Beatles, play
the
only
character.
Beatles songs. Paul McCartney plays left-handed. Like it is legit. So it is not. It's not even like people are like, oh, have you seen those like Yachtly Crew? I love Yachtly Crew, but that is a cover band,
Right.
not a tribute band.
Right.
So, but yeah, we would do these live broadcasts, and each week would be a different band. We did about 80 episodes.
Oh,
it
God,
was
so
super fun.
good.
So awesome.
So were you-
Where's my camera?
Wherever the red light is. But
okay.
I bounce it around. So where do you want it to be?
I don't know. Wherever it looks back.
Bailey over on
Oh,
3 is
thank
your main
you.
guy, and then 4, Hank gets you sometimes here with
Okay.
the back as well.
look
And
good.
everybody has a name because
Great.
they sponsor cameras.
Oh,
They're
okay.
old iPhones people send in whenever their iPhone goes bad, and that's how we get the newest iPhone.
I need a new iPhone so bad, but my
Oh, well,
I've
if you're willing to
donated-
put someone's name on it, we can get you an
$1
iPhone.
billion per iPhone.
Well, exactly. Well, and mine is like not only has like the cracked screen, but even like the camera has a small crack in it that you don't notice unless the sun hits it in a particular angle. So all of a sudden you'd be like, this sunset, and you're like, nope, not this sunset. This sunset. And you're like, "Ah."
It's that filter. That
It
extra
does. It
filter.
does. It looks like that beam of like God raining down
I feel
on
like
you.
you could kill it with social media, just with your personality and
Oh my
your
God.
Rolodex. I mean, just your life,
Yeah,
your existing
it's
life.
true.
I mean,
Like you said before, like if we put this stuff out there for the likes, we would have gotten the likes
yeah.
Yeah.
or the
Yeah,
clicks or
yeah.
whatever you said.
I don't know. I mean, with social media, I guess I'm a little intimidated by social media these days. There's so many of these
Same. It's so
influencers
much.
and so many people that I feel like I kind of missed the boat a little bit.
Nah, you didn't though.
Didn't? No.
No, I watch enough like content of like trying to learn and and like there is no missing the boat. If you are just up there and authentic and people connect with you, you can start today and have like tens of thousands of followers in a month. It's wild.
That's well, I have. It's so funny. We kind of joked about Facebook, but like my Facebook has like an odd, like weird 30,000.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
haven't done anything, and then I still own the Deadline page, and that has like 21,000. So I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
if
wow.
I could merge those, like we've got it.
Yeah, well, I think these days
Maybe I'm an influencer and I don't even know it.
you had no idea. You've been
Here's the
doing
thing.
it.
If you like to share stories of all of that, like just get on your phone and share stories. Start a TikTok, share your stories, be done with it, and that's
So you
it.
people,
Like,
you just sit around and just talk to it, huh?
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know. I
teach
know people
myself
make a
how
lot
to
of
do
money
it
out
in
of
my
it.
office.
You know what I mean? Doing whatever the thing is she's talking about.
Yeah, the talking thing.
Yeah, the whole talking thing.
That would be a little too much for me. I don't.
Jib Jab. Didn't you do stuff with the Jib Jab guys back in the day? I feel like you were.
Yeah, and you know, one of them just died.
Oh no.
Get out of town.
Yeah, my friend Sam. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
he was on Jib Jab.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was on, did all that stuff when YouTube was new,
Yeah.
when all those things were
Yeah,
new.
yeah.
He found the double rainbow guy. Remember double rainbow?
Oh,
all the way?
yeah.
He's the one who
I still quote that.
found the guy and did the documentary about him.
Wow.
I know.
Crazy.
So you're right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I never, for the same
But you're
reasons
doing
you
it.
said.
You're doing it.
This was out of necessity, and it didn't start this way. You know that. It was just a dining room table, and we did this because Nicole was failing. You know, in her
don't mean to laugh,
her
but that
body
is, like,
was
such a-
failing.
Failing.
Sorry,
Okay.
that seems unnecessarily harsh. I mean, like that was the physicality of it.
Right.
She was,
Her body
Yeah.
was.
yeah,
Mine
MS because
Yeah,
of MS. We couldn't
it's-
go out and do things, so we would bring her old life here.
Right. Yeah. I mean
So that's why
it's
we-
beautiful. And I mean, it's purposeful.
Right. Yeah.
Now you
At some point, that's correct. It's correct. What are we doing it for? It's nice to see you.
Stuck.
Now I'm
Yeah.
just
No,
rekindling
this is
old
great.
relationships, I guess, old friendships.
Yeah. Hey, why
We haven't
not?
figured it out yet.
I don't know. We're trying to figure out if this needs to exist anymore.
Sure. I mean, what else? It's a Tuesday. What else you got going on?
Keep doing it while it's fun doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I guess. I mean, I appreciate it.
I think this is great. Listen, I mean,
It's
talking
it's
about-
obviously fun. It's obviously fun. This is like playing with a big train set.
It's a good
obviously,
time.
there's buttons everywhere.
That's
I
true.
refilled the bubble machine, but it seems
Bubbles! Give us bubbles! Give us bubbles!
it seems as though we've blown a fuse or something. Like you're at the lights
or
in your
something.
car. So.
Well, I'll go get.
Correct. Maybe it's not a
Maybe it's
fuse.
not
Could
a
be something
fuse.
worse.
I'll hit my car guy on it.
Maybe we can share on the labor if
Yeah,
we dual
absolutely.
diagnose.
So we do trains at Christmas time. My husband and my son have like the Polar Express train
Oh,
around
God,
it.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's such a fun. Like having a train set is a good time. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I totally loved all that stuff.
We're all kids.
Can we talk about your husband? How's he doing?
Yeah,
I'm a big
Eddie.
fan.
So Eddie is great. He's in full on dad mode right now. In the fact that right now my husband Eddie and my son Hawkeye, and we could talk about his name later, but it is literally on his birth certificate as Hawkeye. That's his name. They are at flag football practice, and Eddie is the assistant coach.
Excuse me.
And so they are just out throwing the old pigskin, right? Isn't that what it is? Apparently, last weekend, I wasn't at the game, but Gavin Rosdale's team played up against us, and they beat us pretty bad. But everyone did
Musician?
have some comments about,
Yeah, I like
Bush.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he had he was one of those dads that gives a lot of commentary behind the bench. And you're like,
Oh.
bro, they're 9 years old. And in our defense, actually, my kid, our team is playing in the 10 and 11-year-old league, but somehow there's 3 9-year-olds. So my kid's a 9-year-old playing with 11-year-olds. And you're like, hey,
Oh.
can you
Still.
step back with the commentary?
Right. Still
Calm it down,
developing
Dad.
here.
Yeah, there's 9-year-olds out here playing against 11-year-olds.
I'm guessing also that's the assistant coach's job to deal with the parents in the
Yeah,
stands while the other guy's
exactly.
got the clipboard and the whistle.
Yeah.
Well, that's still fun.
So, but yeah, Eddie's good. Eddie's great. I mean, we have a good partnership. I mean, you know how important that is.
I met you
Having-
together. I met you together because you were working together on one of those projects.
Yeah,
On that one
absolutely.
particularly.
Yeah, he's worked on all the projects with me. I guess it feels like.
So that's why I think you've always been a good partner.
Yeah, we always worked and played well together. So he would film for Deadline and do some of the voiceover, and then on World's
This week on Deadline.
He did not do. For World's Greatest Tribute Bands. He just attended every show. I mean, I seriously think like. He went to 78 of the 80 shows.
It was so fun. It was so fun to go see that show, and sorry for cutting you off, but it wasn't just fun to see the show, but the audience was a who's who of everybody in the industry as well.
Yeah. I mean, like, literally, David Spade came to at least a half a dozen, as well as... gosh, I hate this because it makes me sound like a real jerk because he is a comedian and awesome...
Not David Spade.
Not Chris Farley, but his brother. What is Chris Farley's brother?
Kevin Farley.
Kevin Farley. So funny.
So funny.
And quick-witted and really nice guy because he then came on and did a couple of TV shows, The Very Best of the 80s and The Very, Very Best of the 70s I did over at AXS TV.
Love them both.
Yeah, and then obviously my sister-in-law, Amy Adams, came to, again, like 75 of the 80 episodes.
Yep.
And,
I didn't know if we were allowed to bring her up.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a pretty cool family.
It
cool
is
Christmas.
a great family. It is a wonderful. She puts on a good Christmas Eve, and she's a great hostess, whatever. I don't know if we're supposed to genderize.
She's a hostess,
anymore.
but she's an actor.
Yes,
right.
But she's a great cook. And she does like good comfort foods, like if you want queso, if you want fajitas, if you want a smothered green chili burrito, like those things are just like really her forte.
I want to know. It sounds great.
Like I remember right after I was so I guess I had given birth. So right after you are pregnant, I guess you're just a mom.
That's you may be hungry. It's possible.
Yeah. But I would go over on. She would help give me like a break, like a postpartum break, and I would go and watch like The Bachelor at her house. And she would make like baked potato night. So like I'd leave my baby with my husband and go like watch The Bachelor and have baked potato night.
Have some starch.
Yeah, she's like, just come over and have baked potato night.
You don't know how much you're missing it.
Yeah. Baked potato night, underrated, right? I feel like we've all been raving about this Taco Tuesday. But
that was going to be my question. So the baked potato, they're all just baked potatoes, but then it's all the fixins, right?
How
you decide to make
some
it.
Chili and some of the chives and the sour cream and all the cheese. And it's really
bacon
good.
bits.
And I mean, where do we put that in the menu? So Tuesday, it can't be Tuesdays.
I wouldn't have wanted it until you just made it sound good.
Maybe like a Wednesday,
Yeah, it does.
Baked potato Wednesday. It doesn't flow.
Or maybe you have to do it like
Saturday.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's a pre-game thing, Friday or Saturday night. So like
carb up.
Yeah, carb
That's
up.
a good
We're gonna
idea.
go out
like
and we need to absorb what.
In high school, I was in band. I was not a player, but the players would have that spaghetti dinner thing before so they would carb load the night before.
Yeah.
So they'd have all the energy for the big
Like
game.
marathon runners do it too, right?
I don't. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they always do it.
Again, when it comes to the athletes, probably you're more for your forte than mine.
Since we mentioned Access, I'm going to read this other comment
Yeah.
here. Rob Cates says, since she worked for AXS TV, did she ever work on the Tom Green Late Night Show? The show was live, and they had cool guests like Norm Macdonald, Bill Burr, Super Dave Osborne, and Dick Cavett.
I also watched that show. I was a
Great
fan.
question. I did not work on it. Sorry. But it was on during I think the Tom Green show was on probably right around the time Deadline was wrapping up and World's Greatest Tribute Band was getting launched. Tom, I mean, what a great name for the network to bring on. I mean, think about it.
Huge.
In the heyday, we had Dan Rather, we had Sammy Hagar, we had Tom Green, then we had Eddie Money and his family doing their reality show,
about that one,
the Moneys, and then obviously my show, like the Top 10 Revealed, every week it would be like Lita Ford or Marilyn Rajskub or however I say her last name correctly. Just a great, interesting cast of characters.
Yeah.
Coming in and out of those doors, but Tom
I've been a big
is
fan of
hoot.
HTN, and I can't AXS TV, and I'm kind of bummed that it's not around. I didn't.
Well,
we
it's
cut
still
the cord
around.
a while ago.
Don't get me wrong. It's there, and
Okay.
they're playing my show like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. I'm on repeat.
So no wonder we
and
all
all
thought
of my
that you were still
shows
doing
that I
it.
still
Okay.
produced and created: Vinyl Obsession, Music Mayhem, Sounds Delicious with Carney Wilson. Like all of my shows are still on there.
Okay.
They're just not making new ones.
Right.
Will be for a long
They
time,
became a
'cause-
syndication house, I guess.
Yes, yeah. I think exactly. They have some Hell's Kitchen during the day, and then our original content. repeating at night.
That's a bummer. So is there any I really thought that was like a safe space that was going to be okay in the world where the rest of our industry's crumbling.
Yeah, especially because especially with so classic rock driven, and there's not a lot of music competition out there with MTV and VH1 not doing much. I feel like it should have had the foothold in the market. I think, in my professional opinion, the pivot to streaming and digital and having that partnership just wasn't there. And,
right.
So as much with everyone cutting, the cord, so many people were cutting the cord, but then they couldn't find us elsewhere. And
there wasn't much of an AXS TV
audience.
Online presence. It was truly, this is for cable people.
Yeah. So
Interesting,
I think
you're right.
the team,
That's why I liked it. On the demo.
I mean, I literally just cut the cord about a month ago because, I'd been keeping it on because, you wanted to watch, I need to watch the network. I was an executive. I had to watch the network, right? And you want to see the commercial breaks and all those things.
Yeah, but isn't it on Tubi and Hoobi and all the other things now?
No, it's not. That's the thing. It's still only some of the
shoot.
shows are still on there, but no, a lot of it's not.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on, guys.
It seems like you could just make it happen.
It
create
seems
new
like
content.
someone should have.
I mean, that's the way forward is, instead of relying on the studio systems, all of us are just having to make our own stuff and be self-funded and audience funded. And I mean, that's
She was a producer too and used to work on all sorts of projects.
I used to keep the commercials on Hulu and everything because I worked in commercials. So I'm like, I have to keep the commercials. I don't want to watch them, but I have to watch them.
Yes, exactly.
That
was my thing. Yeah, I can't get rid of direct TV, but finally I was like, okay, that was part of, I guess, the my stages of mourning, and we don't have that job anymore, and I went through I still have the anger. I haven't released that one yet. But I had to be like, I don't need this anymore because I'm getting all my content through like YouTube and
That is true. I did find him in my own habits. We were drifting. We were drifting to the YouTubes and the whatever the other streamers are.
I mean, I haven't had cable since I moved back from New Zealand in 2014. So
that's even before the rest of us.
Yeah. You were ahead of
early
the curve.
adopter.
I was way ahead of the curve. Also, as a coach, we've been on Zoom and everything, and also living abroad, I used to always talk to people on Skype, and then I had all of my sessions on Zoom.
Yeah.
So, when the pandemic hit, there were sectors of the world that were like, we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Fine. Trust us.
I love a good Zoom meeting, though. I will tell you, I know so many people hate it, but I'm like,
I don't like it, but
overused.
versus driving somewhere in Los Angeles, I'll take it any day of the week.
Yeah.
Driving sucks, even in a cool car.
Right. Well, worse in a cool old car with no AC.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just paranoid.
At least yours is automatic.
Coming at you. You're like, they're all coming for me. I know it.
Right. Don't touch my car. Don't touch my baby.
Parking in public, it's the worst when you have a nice car.
Yeah.
Or it's something irreplaceable. Anything irreplaceable to me is all of a sudden there's anxiety.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you just like your car. Although I will say that my specific car, because my daily is a Mini Countryman S 2015. Like there's only 2 years of a body type that I would take because the butt, they ruined it. They put it's true. You got to have a nice ass, okay? You can't ruin a nice ass. But even with that car, very precious. I'm like, don't
touch my ass.
Don't touch my ass, okay?
That is so funny. Well,
we do have more comments here.
Okay, bring it.
And
Lay
this is
'em on us.
back to your van here. Leonard, Leo says, my father had a similar van when we were really little. I remember always having to pay attention to the braking so we wouldn't fly to the front of the back bench.
Yeah. That's what you're.
Yeah, you gotta hold on. You gotta brace. And I mean, truly, it's like even if there was like Velcro, but it was just like throw cushions on just this.
I'm thinking, like, even if the factory put in Velcro, that wears out over time,
especially
right?
with kids,
Sure.
right? It's gonna get ruined.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have a question here from Irene Hoffman.
Do you remember Letterman? The TV show Letterman?
Yeah.
Remember Rupert from Letterman?
Yeah.
This is Mrs. Rupert.
Oh, I can see who she is. Okay. Irene is great. She's always commenting in here.
Hey, Dave from the deli.
Yes.
She says, "Hi Jay, don't I know this gal from her interview with Jackson Brown? I'm elderly, remember?"
I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things I did do over at AXS TV was really help launch a lot of their digital exclusive content too. So they're, and it went up on a lot of their Facebook and their YouTube, but again, not like put out on the streamers. Like, I don't know what was going on there, but one of the shows that I helped launch was called Now Listen, and another one that was called At Home and Social. And it it started during the pandemic. It was a way to still talk and relate to a lot of the musicians that were putting out new albums and also just stuck at home.
So this was your fix. You couldn't go do your shows and produce new content, so you were doing this.
Exactly. So I was doing Zoom interviews.
Great.
And so, Jackson Browne, I mean, so many great ones. John Five from Motley Crue. The last one I did before leaving the network was Robert Plant and Alison Krauss.
God, way to end on a high note.
Right? Thank
Showmanship.
you.
Very good. Very good.
Wow.
And
That's
so
amazing.
I would book all these artists myself and do the Zoom interviews from my home, and then our editors
Because you are
would
a
put
producer,
together.
you know how to do it all.
Yeah, and just a good time getting to talk to these different artists, and like Jackson Browne, like just to be like, wow.
Very cool.
awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to really chit chat with some interesting people, and that's fun. And you know that because you do it.
I do, and that's one of the fun parts. It's nice to rekindle with people, but it's also really amazing to get to meet people you probably wouldn't have a reason to otherwise.
Well, in the Robert Plant, this is an interesting one. I talked with my kiddo every night at dinner time. We play Best and Worst, Roses and Thorns, like high level or whatnot.
Roses and Thorns, yeah, we do that.
Yeah, and I told him my best and worst was both. Robert Plant was my best and my worst, and here's why. It was my best because that day I was like so stoked all day. I'm going to talk to Robert Plant, and then just being able to say I got to talk to Robert Plant and having the experience of talking to Robert Plant. But it was also my worst because he was so normal and so down to earth and just actually so mellow. And I think you, especially as a host, recognize that even if the person sitting here is boring but telling the most exciting story, you don't care. You'd rather someone that comes in and is like, chicken pot pie, chicken pot pie. And you're like, that chicken pot pie girl that said nothing was great today. But, so you want someone that's going to be like, hey, Mom, Katie, what's up? But he was like, hello, Katie, how are you? You're like, Robert Plant.
It's a lot of work.
Your shows had a specific energy too. What
Chicken
you brought
pot
and you
pie,
cultivated.
chicken pot
You cultivated that. Yes, absolutely. So I can understand. I mean, as a person who wants to have a conversation, I probably want the real guy. But as the viewer, no, you want to watch the chicken pot pie. You want to watch the thing go off the rails.
Well, exactly. I mean, and again, maybe that goes back to the likes. You recognize what's the clickbait and what's like the first 30 seconds to put up the top, the teaser, the promo, if you will. So
you're smarter about that stuff. She's there. Everybody else has helped me move with that.
I know your promo's going to be just chicken pot pie. I already know.
Right.
Dancing around.
Right. Chicken pot pie girl.
I say so many things I regret.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Yeah,
That's all
it's
a part
hard.
of it. But I relate to that too because I have a podcast. It's Birds and Bees Don't Fuck, and so I talk to, which is great.
We should back it up. She's a
love
sex
them.
coach and she's an intimacy coordinator in the industry and stuff too. So.
Of course.
So I talk to comedians and sexperts about their formative sex education, and so when it's the comedian, then I'm the more like chill person, depending on the comedian. Because some people, like you said, are just like they're super flatline. It's like, oh, you're so different when you're not on stage. And then a lot of times for the sexperts, like I have to pump up my comedians. So it's like you really have to find the balance of like which person do I get to play today?
Yeah.
Because if one person's a chicken pot pie girl, you can't both be a chicken pot pie. Well, I have done episodes like that where we're just like, whatever.
Wackadoodle.
Wackadoodle. But like, it's a balance.
Yeah. Well, it's like even in like it's the A chair and the B chair, the number 1 chair and the number 2 chair, and it's like so knowing who's driving the ship and who's the sidekick and.
Oh, good. Well, we're figuring it out. It's a work in progress.
He means he just can't shut me up.
No, you know what? Somebody made the bet. I thought I debated whether or not to tell you this. I wasn't going to, but I think it's a huge compliment. And somebody that we both know compared you to Kirstie Alley on Cheers, which I found to be a huge compliment because not that you're anything like her, but when Shelley Long left the show, everyone kind of was like, well, there goes Cheers. You can't replace her. So they went with somebody so different that there couldn't be a comparison made. And that was unintentional in this particular case, but she's so different from Nicole where, you're the Kirstie Alley. Congrats.
That's great.
6 more seasons. All right.
Let's get a talking baby in here next.
I worked on that one, Ally
Did
McBeal.
you?
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh no, I was talking about look who's talking.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking of the dancing baby. You did this while you said get a talking baby.
I mean, it all works.
You're right. It was the dancing baby on
It's
Ally
the dancing
McBeal.
baby.
I watched Look Who's Talking recently. Have
Does
you
it
seen
hold
that as
up?
an adult? No, I thought it was awful. Nicole did too. It was right before she died.
We have been going through trying to watch some old things and see what holds up. Like Back to the Future holds up.
Huge, yeah.
I mean,
Ghostbusters
even the
holds
weird
up.
like mom kissing thing, you just laugh at that and everything.
Why
You're
did we overlook it?
I
It's
know,
a pretty severe
but-
I
guffaw.
don't know that we overlooked it. That was still pretty weird at the time.
But like
Like I'm
Forrest
kissing my
Gump
brother, so that's
does not
okay.
hold up.
Have you seen White Lotus?
Oh.
Not yet. Not the third season yet. No spoilers.
Okay, yeah. But like Forrest Gump doesn't hold up in my opinion.
Ooh, okay.
And you go back and not only are you watching it, and you're like, I think the only reason we forgave it and allowed it to be awesome is because the soundtrack.
Well, the soundtrack's
Yeah,
great. The
sure.
music's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
well,
it's
all
great.
that Vietnam era, there's some great music during that.
So good.
I
Give me
know.
some CCR, baby.
Oh,
Some
a lot of that.
Credence. Yeah.
A lot of that.
I
Yeah.
do love my classic rock, though. I'm a junkie. I can't help it.
Did you see Almost Famous? Of course you've seen Almost
Oh,
Famous.
yes.
Did you see the director's cut of Almost Famous? It's like 40 minutes longer, and it seems like
No.
that should be too much longer. It's not enough longer. It's great.
So
Speaking
I
of great
have
soundtracks, is
the
what made me think
vinyl box set from Almost Famous that they put out, and it's still in the wrapper. I haven't opened it. I don't know why, like, because it's not like you. I feel like that's not a collector's item. It's not like there's like a limited amount really put out, but for
There
some
may be a
reason
limited
it was
amount.
given to me, and I was like, oh, I should keep this cellophane wrapper on it. But maybe I should just crack it open.
probably
And
better
vote now. Should I crack into my
Yeah.
vinyl, you guys?
That's
Let
very
me
good.
know.
Let us know.
I'm thinking for the vinyl itself, it's probably better off to be released from that page, right?
It's suffocating. Help me.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how hot it gets where you live.
So
but
like
it's-
at the end of the night when you take off your bra, you're like,
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
the vinyl just free the vinyl.
Free the vinyl. That's it.
What a perfect analogy. I couldn't have thought of
Yes,
it better myself.
exactly.
That's because you don't have boobs.
Yeah. I was watching Kate Hudson though. First off, she's fantastic in that, but her whole career has been so wonderful. I love looking at her. She's adorable. I was watching last
I
night.
love looking at her. That's
that
adorable.
Glass Onion
That's
movie that she,
Yes.
she comes out in this bikini.
Is that what it's called? The murder mystery
Uh-huh.
one?
Yeah,
Glass Onion?
Glass
Okay.
Onion.
Okay.
Her
So
body
good.
is banging. So she is okay. So Kate Hudson is, as they would say in marriages, where they're like, "Who's your person?" Like you get your cheek
Oh,
with or whatnot.
right.
Not that
Hall
like you.
pass.
Yeah, so
Friends
your
had
hall
a-
pass.
yeah,
Thank
okay.
you. My husband Eddie always was like, "Oh, Kate Hudson," and so it was so funny. One time
He's gonna
one
swap-
time when we were at the Oscars with his sister, for her 20th nomination, we were waiting in line, the valet line or whatnot. Where they also had the In-N-Out burgers, and
truck.
we got our In-N-Out burgers with Kate Hudson, and like she took a bite and then like cheersed his burger.
Right on.
I was
And
like,
then
I
they did
mean,
like a little swap and they each bit each other's burgers.
That's solid. That's solid. Go Kate Hudson's cool.
yeah. So, but no, he did not go home with her that night. I think that was it. He's like, "Did that cheeseburger?" And so that was it. And then the cars pulled up, and that was it.
I can't. I mean, does he? Neither one of you probably get starstruck. I'm guessing.
We don't. We have like weird favorites, like someone like I would not walk up to someone and be like, "Oh, Mel Gibson, can I get a picture?" or something. Like that's not my jam. But we have particulars, right? Like back in the day, rest in peace, Paul Rubin, Pee Wee.
Oh,
like if I
huge.
had if I was walking through the mall with my Orange Julius and bumped into him, like he would have had to really call
Right.
security to get away from me. I grew up loving Pee Wee, and there's just something so iconic about him. I think Tom Selleck is another one. I love me some Magnum PI. So
Oh,
if I saw
wow.
him, I'd be like, I never do this, but so I'd probably be a dork with him as well. And
Is it 3 Men and a Baby, Tom Selleck? Is it Magnum Tom
it's
Selleck?
totally
Which-
Magnum PI,
Oh,
and it's
of
just because of my
course.
mom. She, always loved him. My mom grew up loving Magnum PI and Paw from Little House on the Prairie.
Sure.
Michael Landon.
Yeah, of course.
That was my mom's go-to.
Paw from
Paw. I know. Paw.
that mean Nelly English.
Oh my God!
Nellie-
I heard they're
what
casting.
other
They're
ones?
making a kids Netflix.
Nellie
Little House
Olsen,
on the-
her name was.
Yeah. And she's still on the circuit. Like she
Really?
does the talking head thing. Like so when I remember when our casting director Liz would I'd be booking like the very best of the 70s and the very best of the 80s or even the top 10, and she'd be like, "Oh well, Mindy Cohen from Facts of Life." I'm
Perfect.
Like, yes, Kim Fields from Facts of Life, or Catherine Bach from Dukes of Hazzard.
Perfect, all perfect.
Yeah.
One time towards the end, I think she may have pitched like Nellie, and I was just like,
was so mean. Ooh,
interesting.
she was so mean.
I had a thing. I was like, but she's mean, and I don't want a bad guy. And she's like, well, she's not. And I'm was like, I know she's not.
She was mean until she fell off the horse and got temporarily paralyzed, and she thought she broke her legs, and then she was a little nicer after that. Remember?
Little House on the Prairie.
I love that show.
God. And now we're watching White Lotus. This is what things have come to.
I'm in the generation that was raised on the box. Is that why you got into this business, or?
I started out in radio.
I forgot.
And
in Arizona?
In Arizona.
Okay.
And I loved radio. I loved it. I mean, I guess that's maybe why I enjoy like podcasts, right? I like the instantaneous. I love that, there's not really editing.
Love that.
I love, just that, like, whatever happened last night, like, we're rolling in this morning, we're going to talk about it, we're going to dissect it. I love the build-up and the, drawing out a story and the setup and going to a commercial break and the tease and coming back. So I love the artistry of it.
Stuff. Yes.
I love that. And I love live. And I think that's why I also loved doing the World's Greatest Tribute Bands, because that was live.
Oh, so fun.
So I love
Well, you
radio.
also cultivated an energy, and that was a lot of energy.
Yeah. So that's where I started. And then I didn't... I tell this story at nauseum, so there's going to be probably like a loop on YouTube now. But I remember thinking, well, I'm not pretty enough to be on television. And so I just was like, I'm just going to stick with radio, because we are just like, I got a face for radio. And I was like, I'm on radio, so therefore I've got a face in radio. And now I know, it doesn't matter what you look like to be on television. We've now learned that, especially in this day and age. And B, like, I'm not like totally beat up. So like,
you're gorgeous.
Yeah, I think most people would call you attractive.
Thanks. I got what I needed. I came here and got what I needed. Tell me more. But yeah, so I did make the jump and went over to MTV, and I think that gave me a lot of confidence. And then
were you a VJ on MTV? What were you doing?
So I worked for MTV during the 2000 presidential election. It was for their show Choose or Lose. It was like their Rock the Vote type campaign. So I was one of the...
That was a big election too.
Yeah. That was Gore up against Bush.
George W. the first time. Yeah.
And I was specifically dedicated to John McCain, Senator John McCain, Straight Talk Express. So I rode along with him in New Hampshire. And he won in New Hampshire. And then so I flew with him on his plane down to South Carolina. And unfortunately, he lost South Carolina. And they know, like, once then, like, the momentum. And so he did not get the nomination. Bush did. But it was a really cool experience getting to, I grew up idolizing MTV, obviously. I remember I went to Arizona State University. I was part of the Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting.
Gee whiz.
Wow.
And I remember the teacher, asking everyone to raise your hand and what do you want to be? And everyone's like, well, I want to anchor the nightly news, and well, I want to be the general manager for, NBC. And I was like, I'm going to be an MTV VJ. And they were like, ooh, ma'am, can you see yourself out the door? This is the Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting. And that year, I made it happen. I went and worked for MTV, but it was interesting that it was in a adjacent form. It wasn't as a VJ. It was in a little bit more of an intellectual capacity. Mm-hmm. So it did stay true to ASU and the broadcasting, and but it was a 1-year gig, right? The presidential election doesn't last forever. So when that ended, I went back to radio for a year in Dallas, Shock Jock Radio, when FM Talk was all the rage.
Sure.
Howard Stern was on before us, and I came on right after Howard Stern with my radio partners, and then found out that Mark Cuban was starting a network, and hitched my horse or whatever to...
Because you were already in Texas, and he was a Texas entity?
I was in Dallas, and I found out that he was starting a basketball show because of the Dallas Mavericks, so he was looking for a co-host on this basketball show. So I cold called the... EP at the time and said, hey, I'm, had been doing radio here in the market and have a TV background. I'd love to, get a chance to like audition or whatever for the co-host position. And I guess they had been going through the process for several weeks and hadn't found anyone, and they were literally filming in 4 days.
Oh my gosh.
And this guy was just like, who just landed in my lap?
You called at the right time.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, chicken pot pie, I want a job. And they were like, oh my God.
Chicken pot pie, we needed a chicken pot pie girl.
Yeah, and so I got to sit next to Mark Cuban and co-host this basketball show for 2 years. And that's when he said he was starting AXS or HDNet, and if I had any ideas. And I was like, what if, here's just an idea because I'm 20 years old, but what if I go out to like rock concerts, I don't know, hang with me, and I go backstage and like I interview the rock stars, and then like we put some of their concerts on TV. He's like, sure, go do it. And I had my first show.
Is he that kind of guy? That's amazing. That's
Elevator
freaking
pitch
amazing.
Guy.
So that I was going to say, is he? And as long as you're going to do it, and he sees that you have the vision, go do it, right?
That was my experience with him. He best boss in the entire world. you have to email him only 3 bullet points, cut through the BS, don't ask a lot of questions, get ready to get a hard no or a hard yes, and the hard yes, it might just be a yes, and then you're like, now what? And you're like, now, like, just figure it out
Now
and read
you
his
do it,
brain.
yeah.
Because if you ask a follow-up question, he might take it away from you.
Right.
And I love
Like
that
anyone
about
at
him.
that level, that's not a him thing. It's just
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess when you, like...
they get concise at that
yeah,
level.
yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. That's so
He's
cool.
great. He's really nice.
Well, he just needs a new network. We need him to buy another network or start a new network.
Now he's like, he's running like the pharmaceutical world, and
He's grown. He's out of it. Is that what
yeah,
you're saying?
I think
Grown out of it?
he may have. Yeah, I think like Boys and Their Toys, right? Like at a point he was like, the rock and roll thing, that's fun, but like maybe like there's bigger things to do in this life, which is kind of the struggle I've come into too when I've been like schlepping my resume around town. I was like, what's the point of it all?
Getting in existentialism.
Yeah, you're like,
what
wait
is
a
this
minute.
all for?
I should be working for, and I started working with a nonprofit, and like it doesn't pay. So I need to find the nonprofit that
You get
does
something
pay.
else though. It fills a different cup, and then
Does.
sometimes that gives me the energy to go figure out the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, so I work with this. It's called Cancer Can Rock. So it's cancercanrock.org, and at first you kind of hear that and you're like, cancer can't rock, not in my space. But what they do is they raise money to help take serious musicians, dedicated musicians, not famous musicians though. Like I want to say, this isn't Sammy Hagar. This is the guys that are playing in the local bars, right?
Okay.
But are good, serious, professional musicians. And while they're battling aggressive cancer, give them the opportunity to get into the recording studio to record one of their own personal songs that they've written. And they get them the whole backing band. So you get the whole studio,
Oh
their
my
engineer,
gosh.
and then like, hey, you need a fiddler, you need a trombone player, what do you need? We're going to get those people, and we're going to get to do this day in the studio. And at the end of it, you're going to have a tangible song for a memory for you, for your family, if things escalate to that point, and we make a music video while in there. And so
And you're getting to do the thing and realize the dream, and it's a Make-A-Wish for
it's
adult,
Make-A-Wish for
adult
rock
rock
and
stars.
roll
Wow,
fans.
that's amazing.
That's incredible.
and Rufus and Martha Wainwright are on board, and they're kind of like our celebrity spokespeople, and so they are supporting it, and it's a really great organization, and it's so weird, when you talk about one door closing and another door opening. When I mean, truly, it was within a week of AXS TV stopping, production and saying, we no longer need this department. They laid off, about 10% of the company. I got a call from them to say, would you like to, be on the board and help us out? And so it kind of gave me a purpose right when I needed something and feel needed, but for something good. And I also got an email literally the next day from the She Rocks Awards, which is this great, it's an awards ceremony put on by the Women Network, the Women's International Music Network, and they support women and elevate women in the music industry, and they honor about a half a dozen women each year during NAMM down at
Super cool.
yeah, the NAMM
Anaheim,
in Anaheim.
convention,
Yeah, and so it's the She Rocks Awards, and they honored me this year for being a trailblazer in the world of music. So it was, my community lifted me up without even knowing that they needed to lift me up in that moment. So
Good for you for recognizing all of that, though. I mean, yes, that all happened, but your perspective is what allowed it all to happen.
turns out I just like trophies. So I was like, yes.
It all comes back to the sparkly things. in
It
the
does.
end.
It does.
No,
Like everyone
please, more.
You just need a good, heavy, blunt object to have by your front door, right? So
Safety first.
That's right.
All right, we've been almost an hour before we bring it down. I think one of the last times I saw you, not only was Nicole here, but we were with Grant Imahara, too. Speaking of two people who are no longer around.
at the Surly Goat.
Is that where we went?
I think
yeah,
so.
I think you picked the place.
West Hollywood, Surly Goat on Santa Monica Boulevard, like Santa Monica and like Hayworth, because that's where I lived back in the day. So I think we walked up there.
I was going to ask that, too. Are you not in the same place anymore?
No, I'm in the Valley now. During
Okay.
COVID, I realized that the other humans I lived with breathed, and I just needed more space.
Fair.
So we went to the Valley, got the front yard, just got the space to be able to run around.
amazing.
And good school district, all the little boxes were ticked off.
Yes. Being a responsible parent.
Yeah, including it was like that time in 2020 where like you would go in and bid on a house and 20 other offers were in and things escalated
Like a
to
livestock
like
auction.
absurd. Yeah, it was. We bought our house and I hadn't even seen it. I was out of town. I sent my husband and my sister-in-law to do the walkthrough and they FaceTimed me and they're like, and I was like, put in the offer, just put in the offer. And we did all the negotiations, including the like bidding against 20 other people, sending Snookies cookies, personal letters,
Whoa.
all with me out of town. I did not see my home until I was doing the walkthrough.
Wow.
I had already had to put down that like 1,000% deposit.
Right.
They're like, basically just pay us all up front.
Wow.
Anyways, where was that? Pivot back. What were we talking about?
Oh, Grant and the Surly Goat.
Yes. So we were at the Surly Goat. I think that also, not only was that a great night of friendship, all of us all being together,
Yeah.
and just laughs galore
So
because
much.
Grant is so funny and Nicole's so funny and we just try to hang with them. But you guys, I think I may have played the best Pac-Man game of my life that night. I may remember.
Yeah.
I remember like the next day having a crippled hand because I was like, I owned this machine for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Was it Miss Pac-Man or regular?
It was Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, I remember the Miss Pac-Man.
I've never played
at
a
all.
game so well in my life again.
remember.
That was my moment.
That was.
I really was a champion.
We talk about the drinking days on this show. I don't drink anymore. Nicole hadn't drinking years and years and years. But holy schmoly, so many memories from the drinking years.
Or lack thereof.
Right, yeah. Well, just so
many flashes.
Yeah, you're
Many
right.
pockets.
So many experiences
Yeah.
during.
Yeah, I should
I mean,
probably
the same
come back.
group. Didn't we? Weren't we hanging out in Comic-Con one year too?
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
the,
yeah. I remember.
With the same.
Yeah, I remember meeting you guys in a lobby somewhere, and then we went on to the next crime scene and
That
probably
checks.
another crime scene.
That checks.
And just a good time, just a really good time.
Any-
And then I mean, and I know you mentioned at the top of the show, like we went to Hawaii together, and it was just, you have to be really like picky on who you travel with, right? Like, but like it was just really easy to like wake up and just go to like you had that golf course that you like to eat breakfast at.
Oh, Joe's on the green. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did. I
yeah.
love
Like
that.
you had your
Oh,
routine.
Good memory. Good memory.
Yeah.
We did have our routine because we'd go there so frequently. I mean, we ended up getting married there. I can't remember if we were married yet at that point, were we?
Yeah. No, you weren't. You weren't.
Okay.
I remember you guys got married. It was a very small ceremony. And yeah, you would go
Same
back
house,
there
though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The reception was at the same house that you stayed at.
You would go there every year. We've never been back since then. So to Kauai, we've gone to some
It's a
of the
small
other.
island. If you're not into it, you only need to go once. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you weren't, but like you see it all in a week.
Right. Well, I mean, it was great. I mean, and I remember we got there a couple days before you or something like that. Because remember, we went to the Big Island, my husband and I, and we
Oh.
did like the volcano. And then we
Perfect.
popped over and we went to that really fancy hotel over on the south side.
Oh, it's the north side, but Princeville, and
Yes,
you're
we went
100% right. I forgot all
We
about that.
went
You
there-
had a few vacations in one.
Yeah, we jumped around. And so like, yeah, and then we like came and only did like 2 or 3 nights with you. So we were like,
Oh, that's right.
doing all that. And
But
I mean, I
24/7, it felt like, you know what I mean? Like we did all the stuff. We went to the Hyatt. We went to the places.
Oh yeah,
we did
that
all the
Hyatt has
things.
like the pools for days, right?
Yeah,
Like
the
that-
floating lagoon and all that. Or
Good
what do they
time.
call it? Lazy River.
Yeah. Which I bet my son would really like. Maybe that's a.
Maybe time to go back.
I mean, he loves water. Like, but I think that's all kids, right? Like they just are like,
I did
wanna
as a kid.
splash. What a splash an adult in the face. That's all. Don't splash at me.
That sounds like Eddie influence.
Like just not mommy's hair. Like
Yeah.
right. I'm not.
There.
We took him to Hawaii and we went to Maui. This is before the Maui fires even, so, whatever, I guess 4 years ago? Not whatever the fires, just whatever my brain, by the way. I did not just whatever the
Katie
fires.
doesn't even care about the fires.
Fires, whatever. No, just whatever is my memory. And he loved it, and he loved, like, the tropical vibe, and he loved that I went in the water, like underwater every day, the swimming pool, the ocean. Like, he's like, Mom, your hair's wet. I'm like, this vacation mom is way cooler than at home mom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. You would get in the water, right? You definitely got in the
I
lazy
get in
river,
the
maybe
water,
not the ocean.
but I don't dunk my head a lot. This hair is
Oh.
not easy to do.
It's a big
Understood.
deal.
It is big. You got that right.
I have purple in my hair now, so I don't ever
Oh,
get
yeah.
it wet anywhere because I'm like, I don't know, it's probably gonna bleed. I don't even know. I put dye in it every time I wash it. So
It'll
I'm
be,
like,
you go, oh my God, you need to go to like a water park, dunk, and it'll be purple, and people are gonna be like, it's that thing that shows
Somebody
that you
peed over there.
It's true. It's true. The water changed color. She peed.
yes.
Oh my God, that would be such a good prank to bring like dye and
Swirl
drop
it in
and be
there.
like,
How did we never think of that?
we should really punk some people.
Although it's got to be temporary, right? It's got to.
Yeah, I mean, like food dye can't. I mean, it would
But
spread
you'd
out so
still
quickly.
see. I mean, urine, even if you haven't drank in a long time and it's like super, super yellow, it's still gonna
Oh my
not be
goodness.
that yellow in a big pool, you know?
That's
Yeah.
true. Vitamins. Vitamin day.
Yeah.
Yeah, vitamin
Yeah, exactly.
hot green pea.
Coffee vitamins. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. One of the show, but geez, maybe it was Deadline. Was it Deadline where you would go sometimes shoot in different bars around the city? Because our mutual friend David used to own a bar in Santa Monica that you would go to all the
Yes,
time.
and you had burlesque dancers and stuff there too.
Correct. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
yeah,
Nicole
yeah.
and I were part owners of a burlesque show there. Good memory.
Right about
Amazing. But I remember that we would do that a lot too.
Yes.
I remember helping out on.
Yeah. So
Those
it
shoots.
was Deadline, and so Deadline never had a set. We would just film at different bars, and we'd usually shoot, go in and shoot like 3 or 4 episodes at a time. Just the raps, the host raps.
Yeah.
And then give a plug to the bar and just kind of get out of there before the bar back showed up to start making ice noise.
Exactly
Yeah.
right. And I think that you kind of started something too, because then Carson Daly started using it. He used to do a late night show where he would go bar to bar too.
Yeah.
Last Call with Carson
Yeah,
Daly.
yeah.
And then they started using the same place. But I feel like you did it first.
I feel like I did a lot of things first.
Oh, you're
I
trailblazer.
really-
Trailblazer.
Totally. I feel like everyone's been stealing what I stole.
You and Tom Green. Yeah, you and Tom Green.
We're the early days, so.
It was.
You brought him up before. Well, the HDNet somehow he came up with the AXS TV. Were you a fan of Tom Green? I'm a big fan of Tom Green.
So I always when I think of Tom Green, I immediately think of the observational piano playing skit that he would do, where he'd go in the mall and be like playing the piano and just like comment as people walked by,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
that
it was like Man on the Street, but he was a
Yes.
guy at a piano.
and I mean that would every time. I mean that is pee your pants funny when it hits. It hits so good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I just watched. The reason I brought it up was he I guess he directed it, which is a little odd, but a documentary about Tom Green. And it's really good. It was on Amazon, and it really surprised me. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm going to watch it again.
I recall always liking him on the Tom Green show and MTV and everything. I can't remember what happened. Did he get canceled? I can't. What all happened to Tom?
I think he just.
Oh,
went
you mean
away.
culturally canceled?
Culturally,
not
yeah, like
HD,
what?
not
No.
Access TV canceled.
No, just in
no.
real
He
life. What happened?
got over during. I know the answer if you really want to know.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
moved out of LA and he lives
Yeah.
in Canada now. He bought a farm.
Yeah, doesn't he like?
During COVID-
He's living the dream. He took his money and ran.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
The old
it's all
Steve
covered
Miller.
in this totally. It's all covered in the documentary. And one of my favorite parts is when he gets there and he's like, I thought that he sold his house that he had since the MTV days
Yeah.
up in the Hollywood Hills, and he was there 30 years. He goes, I thought I would feel like this was a big mistake, and I don't. He's happy where he is, which
Eddie
is
and
the
I
most
talk about
beautiful
leaving.
thing in my
we
life.
talk about leaving all the time. Do you think about leaving?
Yeah, right now I'm thinking about it. Not right now during this interview. Right now, at this point in my life. I'm sorry.
Very
Have a good one. Thank you very much.
Chicken Pot Pie Girl did.
That's why I brought you here. This is all yours.
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I'm considering a change of. I mean, my life is, the plan went out the window,
Yeah.
and I'm holding on. I'm realizing that I'm holding on to a lot of stuff that I probably don't need to, and
Yeah.
that it's probably okay to rewrite the script. And I don't know what story I want to write, so it's in process. It sounds like we're actually not dissimilar.
No, it's because it's really hard because and not to like bring like the show down, but it's hard to realize that this is like your one shot. Hey Eminem, you only got one shot, right? And sometimes I forget. Sometimes I really think that I'm in the dress rehearsal, and then I'm like,
I'll do it
but
next time.
Yeah,
I'll
or I'll
nail
have
it.
time. Like I'll nail it next time. I won't make that mistake, or I'll choose this different path, and I'll go a little bigger. And you're like, oh wait, if you want that, you kind of got to do it now, and that's why I'm having like. I feel like I am literally, I don't want to say stuck in a rut, but I'm in this weird torture zone where I'm like, so what do you want to do? Like, what is the point? What is the purpose? Like, what is the end game? Like, what's the story? Like everyone says at the, your deathbed, you're not saying, I wish I worked more. Wish
Right.
I, whatever.
Right.
You also are like, yeah, I am so happy I was living in that tent under the underpass. So I also know I like money. I do.
Yeah.
I've learned I don't like living on a budget. So how do I continue to not live on a budget, but also like make it feel like purposeful, make my son proud,
Yes.
still have fun, not be the boring person at a cocktail party because I talk about that I'm a toll worker. No offense to the toll workers, but I assume there's not a lot of conversation there. So it's like, you're trying to check all these different boxes.
Toll worker?
Toll.
Like a toll collector. I don't even think that exists anymore. I just drive.
You're all Easy Pass now.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
So I'm kind of in that thing, and I always then have to remind myself, I'm like, but like you gotta do something because like this is your one time.
Yeah.
It's deep. I don't know. I agree with everything you're saying. I think we actually probably get multiple lives. I sort of believe in the reincarnation, but obviously you can't stitch them together.
That's the thing. It's like I think there is other opportunity out there, but I just don't know if you're going to bring that knowledge.
No.
Or like the stupid stuff that I've learned in this path. Like, trust me, the stupid shit I've learned here is probably not going to come into play when I come back as royalty.
That's right.
See, I'm telling you, you got a Leo rising or something.
Did you
find out?
Did you remember, like when you were a kid? Do you remember the before? Do you remember anything before?
Oh, like
do you remember darkness?
Life?
Do you remember, or just anything before? I remember like before, and then I remember telling myself, "Don't forget, don't forget."
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, but no one's asked me this question before, and I've never done therapy.
I don't think
so
I've ever
wonder
actually
if
talked to anybody about this before.
Okay, so you like, how did like? Okay, set this up for me.
Kindergarten, I had my eyes closed. I was rubbing my eyes, and I was doing it for a while, and I don't remember why. My eyes were itchy, but for whatever reason, I was enjoying the black, and the teacher talking, and the other things faded out, and then I was in this world of before, and then I was talking to like my inner self. I know it's weird. I was talking to like my inner self, and kindergarten's what? You're 5 years old?
Yeah.
So I'm 5 years old.
Yeah.
My parents were going through a divorce, so it was already weird. I was in my own little headspace, and when your eyes are really dark and you kind of almost see lights in your eye when you're rubbing, and it was kind of, I was seeing that and I was sort of exploring that, and somehow the other me that I was talking to in my brain in that moment said, "Don't forget, they're going to try to wash this part over. Don't forget it." And
Were you
so I've held onto it forever.
the fumes in the car?
Totally, I thought about that. Like, was that on flavored marker day? What was going on? You know. And then the movie Soul is the first time I ever reconnected with any of those feelings and thoughts, that Pixar movie, because they kind of go to that place, and it's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Interesting. Yeah, that movie was good, and I really was like, I can't believe we're showing this to kids. This is a little weird.
I said the same thing, because it's preparing you for death and everything. She loved it so much and connected with it on such a level.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because she was convinced that that's how it all worked.
Yeah. No, I've never
Speaking of
had
bringing it down.
a connection to the past. I've never searched for it, though. I have to say that's probably a bucket that or something maybe I should be exploring right now. So I did 13
know if it helped
years
me.
of Catholic school, right? So I've had religion pounded in me, K through 12.
Yeah.
And it took a long time for me to recognize that, like, some of those stories don't quite add up, and perhaps I need to explore other options. I'm not here to, tell people.
The children us didn't ask the questions that the adult us thinks of.
But it certainly is. I don't go to church right now, and I've not shared like Catholicism really with my son, and it's really interesting when he will start to ask some questions about God and stuff, and I'm like, oh, well, because it puts a lot of pressure, because I did value the lessons and the stories.
But
growing
later,
up in
right?
That. Yeah,
I didn't
now
enjoy
looking
the
back-
experiences.
No. But so it's interesting. So I haven't like I said, like I currently am not really diving into the spirituality and digging into that, although I have an interest of like what other things are out there. And I've
Just
never
rub your
done
eyes real hard.
therapy.
It's easy.
So I feel like maybe there's like a whole like untapped part of me where I'm like, maybe I could find my before person or something.
Yeah, but if you do enough podcasts, that's like therapy. You know what I mean? Well, because you get to pretty good idea.
I need to get on the podcast circuit then. Book me on the next one, Coach.
There you go.
You've also been on camera for so long that you kind of know who you are. You strike me as somebody who knows who they are. You're self-aware.
Yeah.
You know, some people are walking around and they have no fucking idea. They're bumping into each other and they have no idea who any of it let alone who the other people are.
They're the people that just stop in the middle of the aisle at Whole Foods. God damn them.
Yes.
Figure it out.
The non-playing characters, I think they're called, right?
Yeah.
NPCs. The still photographer laughed at that
That's
one.
funny.
Must be true. Must be true.
So my husband and his sister both have spidey senses, ghosty things.
Yeah, me
so but they both purposefully turn it off. Like
For work or just
no, like
to not
Eddie,
be weird?
Eddie like just doesn't like it. He doesn't like when like he gets a sense and something's talking to him or he can feel something in a room. He like purposely like shuts it off. Oh. But he's had like he tells me these stories and God, I'm so sorry, Eddie and Amy, if I'm telling a story that like I'm not supposed to. But when they first moved out to Los Angeles together and they were roommates, like they moved into this apartment that was haunted. And like
where's
to-
Nicole for this? She would get so
Oh
excited.
yeah,
Just
it was
listening.
fully haunted. The stories that they told me, like first off, like I think it was either 2 or 3 different dogs jumped through the window out the balcony and like off the 3rd floor to get out of the
What?
apartment. That's like weird. That's
'Cause they
like
didn't
2
wanna be
different
there.
dogs. They didn't
Go,
wanna
"I
be
can't
there."
be
Like
here.
run through the glass and jump off the balcony and
That's-
like broken legs.
That's
2 different dogs.
That's
at
Amityville
least.
horror shit. That's like this house is
Yeah,
not
so they
clean.
had like that did happen just once, but like at least twice, if not 3. But I'm gonna say with 2 because I don't want to exaggerate it accidentally.
Even once.
Even once, right? And then like there would be times where like they would both wake up at the same time. They didn't sleep in the same room, obviously. They're brothers and sisters, and like come out into like the
Funny
living
fact
room.
about the Addams family.
No, they like woke up at and literally came out and they're like, I was having this dream, and they'd be like, that I was, and then you, and like they'd finish each other's like sentences because like they just had
They're
the
not
same
twins,
exact dream.
right?
No.
Wow.
Whoa.
So they'd like have shared dreams that were disturbing, and they'd wake up and like tell each other about it and be able to say like what happened in the next scene. And then my husband, and again, I'm probably telling the story slightly wrong, but the night of 9/10, the night before 9/11,
Yeah.
he like woke up from a dream and like started sketching, and it was suitcases falling from the sky. And so like he's just had enough
Well,
of
no
those
wonder- I wouldn't
things
want that
where he's
either
like,
then.
he's like,
I would.
I don't like it. Like if someone comes and knocking, I
Well,
don't
not
talk.
if it's bad stuff like that. You don't want to be the predictor. I mean, there are movies like that, right?
Yeah.
Next, Nicolas Cage. Next, ooh, that's a
Yeah,
weird one.
but I believe that there are ways that you can learn to work with your
If you
with your
want
psychic
to,
abilities.
if you
Yeah.
want to, sure.
The
Not
reality
everybody
is that
wants to
they're
embrace
there,
that.
but they're there whether you want them or not. Like that's kind of what you're saying
Yeah.
is like these thoughts and these intuitions.
You don't
like,
let her say what she's saying.
I know, no, but that's what I'm just saying. Like that's what you mean from Eddie, where he tries to turn it off. Right?
Yeah.
But like
He-
it comes.
He's saying to Poltergeist, you are not welcome here.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Right.
just not into it. And I don't know if it's. I should ask him more. Like, I wonder if he had more free time, right? Like, is it something that you'd want to explore? But right now, you're like, I'm just too busy. I'm trying to be a
Correct.
dad.
I don't
I'm
have
just
room
trying,
for this.
I'm just trying to get by. Like, life is hard enough. And-
So it doesn't sound like he's predicting light stuff, clown at a party. This is like, oh, suitcases falling from the sky on
Yeah,
the
his is more
nation's
heavy.
worst day in a decade.
You know who else has the gift? The mom from E.T. Why can't I think of D. Wallace?
D.
D.
Snyder.
Snyder's from
Wrong,
Twisted Sister.
wrong.
But he's
I
not
look
gonna
at you and I
take
think of D. Snyder.
Dee Wallace, yeah, she,
No kidding.
she actually, I think, does that kind of professionally on the side, like for
Like a
special
medium?
service.
Really?
She still acts and is a scream queen, but she also, like, I think you can hire her to come do that stuff.
I didn't know that. I know Mary Lou Henner remembers what she's had for
I've
from
interviewed
every day
her,
of her
and
life.
I gave her my birthday, and I should have paid attention. I was probably stoned or something, and she like told me everything that happened on my birthday.
Because she remembers it.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. It's amazing.
So weird.
Where, like, are you using, is the processor power better than mine too, or is just your hard drive capacity bigger too? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it makes me ask so many questions.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Again, because, oh, you know what maybe happened when I was a kid in that moment? Maybe I realized that there was something different. Maybe I had a separation of self in kindergarten at 5th grade that most people are like searching for this kind of
Right.
experience
Yeah.
through ayahuasca or
Almost,
MDMA
yeah,
or
it was
something, and
like
I did it by rubbing my
A
tired
maturity
eyes.
jump, even, right? You just are like
Wonder.
just aware of like, hold on, we're not just coloring in the lines today. Like,
Yeah.
Apparently, since I never talked about it, I've never really thought about it again until now, and it's kind and it's happening
do you
in
go
real
to
time.
therapy? Can you ask a therapist this? I
No,
don't
this
even
is
know.
my therapy. You're doing it.
okay,
Great
all right,
job.
okay.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Happy to help.
I do. I have a friend that I see for therapy, or I talk to on the
Okay.
phone. But like,
Are they licensed? Are they
Lately,
like, are they allowed to?
no. It's
Just
it's
a
a best
guy.
friend that I've known for 35 years or
Friend
whatever,
of
who
me.
knows me
Okay.
better than anybody else in the world.
Right.
It's like better than a therapist because the mirror is so true and honest. We cut through.
But
all
he
the
doesn't
bullshit.
like write you prescriptions or anything.
Oh my God, no.
No, he's not that cool.
No, I've never been to that kind of.
Okay. All right, so you have someone,
armchair psychiatrist, that's different than giving you pills.
Yeah.
No, I just mean somebody who knew Nicole and has helped me, work through. Also, sadly or strangely, or maybe the universe is just planning this way, but I have a tremendous amount of friends that are widows or widowers.
That's pretty wild.
That's weird.
All just kind of happened, even in our car world. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 of my close friends all went through it right before.
Really?
Like in the 5 years before, yeah.
Are they around the same age? Or are they also like
course,
older?
yeah.
What?
But she was so young. She was 44.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're so young to be a widower. Like,
correct. All of these
so
other
that's
people.
Weird.
The oldest one, I think, is 10 years older than me. And he went through it when he was my age. That was the longest time ago. Other ones, like Marco's wife was last year. Tom Kearns was the year before.
And they were all part of the car club. So you knew each other when it all happened.
And Nicole was always ill, and we all kind of knew that she wouldn't make it as long. But then, like, oh, nope, you're in the club. Here's your fucking coin.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, like, there's a whole, like, I have a support group.
Yeah, I was going to say, exactly. Like, you guys, like, don't, a lot of people have to go find that support group and, like, go into a strange circle and introduce yourself. You guys kind of already have a band.
Kinda, yeah, sort of. Well, I was birthed into it. But then you, with, like, we have so many friends in the entertainment world that are suffering the same losses right now as the industry up and died. That it feels like there should be support groups for that. Maybe there are. There are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some like.
Are you seeing anyone? Are you?
No, I'm just out here alone.
I go back to the self-awareness. You seem pretty self-aware. I think that you already know a lot of the stuff about yourself that a professional would help you see.
Yes, and that's the thing is I'm like, first off, I'm a good enough liar also that I know like in therapy I could like be like, I'm gonna answer this the right way.
I don't want you to know the right.
Right. So like I know how to like get the answer that I want. So I'm not like a manipulative like terrible person. I just kind of like know when I'm like, I don't want to waste my time on this, right? Yeah. And I will say I do have a great girlfriend that I do chat with, and like she and I always joke because like I'm like, do you go to couples therapy? Because all of the people I know are all going to couples therapy, and like she doesn't and I don't, and she's like, I don't have time for that. She's like, if I have an extra $150 in an hour a week, I'm certainly not putting it towards that. Right. I know the problems. We know the work we need to do.
We're refusing to do it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm like, Eddie and I know the work we need to do, and we literally will sit down on the couch and be like, oh, you know what we should be doing tonight? Not drinking this wine, maybe like not the boots, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna finish this bottle, open up another, and binge this. Yeah. We'll get nookie some other time, like so.
Hilarious.
You just kind of like, I know. You just got to put in like.
So that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You don't need somebody to make a list for you.
And that's the funny thing also about like job hunting. Is there's so many people that are like, oh, have you reached out to so-and-so? Have you reached out to this? Have you done this? And I'm like, yeah, but like if I did, what if they said yes? Then I'd have to start tomorrow and I didn't to explore the other things. And
I'm not available.
And I'm not sure if like that's what I want. Like I just really want to like put my finger on like, what is it? Because you don't want to ask for something and then it come true, right? Yeah. So like, like people are like, have you ever asked Mark? Like, no, I haven't asked Mark Cuban for a job.
Because he'll say yes to you, whatever. Like, you got to know what you want.
I have a strong reason to believe he like won't blow me off. I don't know if there's an actual job, but he might say, hey, I'm going to introduce you to like Bobby. And then what if Bobby says, oh, I'll let you do this. And now I got to do it because you don't want to. Bobby's expecting it. Yeah. And like, and so I'm kind of like,
You're back on the treadmill.
Yeah, and I don't know.
So you're somewhat enjoying being off the treadmill right now for the first time in however long.
I am. I miss the creative stuff. I love making. I love just the buzz, the energy, the brainstorming, the jotting notes down on a paper.
You like all that? For me, it's just the creative itch, the scratching the creative itch. I feel better at night if I've scratched the creative itch.
Yeah. Which I'm sure, I'm like, you're right. Like maybe I should be. I tried, like, I had a friend, they're influencers or like Facebookers, and they do a lot of like skits and like put together a lot of things, right? And they're posting like 2 things a day, but like, they're creators. That's what they are, and they're like, conceptualize skits or jokes or pranks.
It's a lot of creation.
A lot of work.
Lot of work. And also I'm like, well, that, and I kind of dabbled. They're like, well, try some cooking things or whatnot. And I dabbled and tried, and it did not scratch the itch. I actually found it really annoying, like me, like trying to be like, and this is how you make these biscuits. I was like, turns out, like, making biscuits isn't my thing. Like, even though the whole process was there with like on camera and talking and editing, I was like, no.
It takes a while to figure out what it is, though. Like, I'm still kind of finding my flow with all of those things, too, because it's just, especially when you come from production and you come from high-end production, it's really difficult to then go down to, like, just you and a little iPhone.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you would think it's like, oh, but you have all these skills. Like, you've been doing this for 20 years. Like, you should
But
know.
I used to have 20 different people to do the other jobs,
Well,
and now
that's
I
the-
have to do
and
all
that's
of
the other
that.
thing.
Or
Yes.
I'm on camera. Like,
Right.
these are different
Yeah,
things.
or
Different
you're
skill
like,
sets,
well, I
yeah.
mean, I then
Yeah.
had the guy that then posted it for me, and like, you know, I just approved like the copywriting. I was like, oh, change that word. This title
Exactly.
sucks, you know. So I was, you know, it's hard being at the top, right? Like,
You have to make it
I had
better,
people
like,
underneath that were helping me, and I leaned on, and they were great.
Yeah.
Like a team.
That's
hard to be
team is
without
nice. Team is nice. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you got all these cameras, and I mean, yeah, like.
that's the easy part. That's what the team's to. It's all this stuff you were talking about, the strategy behind it.
Yeah.
Talking head, I know how to do that.
Yeah, the talking is the easy part. You're
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
no shit.
Yeah.
Try to shut me up.
So how many episodes have you done? What are we at now?
Well, if I had the blue card for today, it would say 592.
592.
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, a lot of those are just treading water when we were just doing it because, you know.
Right. Because it wasn't just weekly; it was like daily at a point, right?
Yeah, it was in the beginning.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
4 days a week.
Wow.
And then Friday we'd be up on the mountain.
Yeah.
It was weird. I think we were trying to prove a point in the beginning. We're like, we can still do this. You know, Nicole was like still driving even though she was failing. She was still just really chugging along.
Yeah.
She was like that until she died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, this is the first time I've seen you and she's not here. Is that weird?
You know, I mean, does it sound weird that I feel like I just followed your guys' story so much on social media, which is like,
No.
you know, it's
A lot of
like
people say
I
that. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, like I saw the story, like, you know, so I feel like I saw the beginning, right? Like when you guys first started talking about it, and then like I see where it went, and I see now that it's there. But so it's it makes sense at least.
Yeah.
I feel like had you kept it private, you know, and now
Where'd she go? Yeah.
Ta-da!
What happened? Right.
Feels weird.
I think back to the time when we were hanging out pretty regularly. That was kind of, while it was so fun, it was also kind of the worst time in our lives. Like our life was imploding all around us, and we were in this living in denial, like trying to pretend it wasn't happening. Just trying to be normal, going to Comic-Con, going out for drinks and
Right.
fun stuff.
So okay, so see, so you guys knew way back then.
She was diagnosed in January of 2011.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was a year after we went to Hawaii together. No, 6 months. Because we went to Hawaii in 2010.
No.
Yes.
Really?
It was like kind of our second
I
honeymoon.
would have thought 2012. Oh, wow.
we
then
got
I'm
married
way
in
off.
2010 in January, and we went
I have
to
to go back and look at photos.
Yosemite for kind of our honeymoon, and then we booked the Hawaii trip in like.
Well, then,
the
so we
summer.
shot the DeLorean thing in 2010, not 11, or even 9. But
2009.
not 11.
Had to have been 2009.
Oh, so I made the, wow. So this is all even further ago than I thought. I was making the judgment based on the YouTube video, but that doesn't mean that we shot it in 2011. It was uploaded later, probably.
Probably.
Oh my gosh. You just
Or-
blew my head up even more.
I mean, or I don't know.
So maybe she didn't know in the beginning then.
Maybe. It's crazy. I can't imagine just, that getting that diagnosis and being like, oh, yeah, like you said, the playbook
So
has
she
changed.
was fighting it. She was,
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything and fuck this.
Right.
When we went to Hawaii, was she already doing the shots? Did she bring shots with her?
No.
Oh,
not that
no,
I'm
then you're
aware
right. It
of.
was before.
Yeah, definitely not aware of that.
Wow.
What was that game we like to play? And you bought it for me. It's not Boggle. It's,
Parcheesi?
no, it was something that like had a timer.
Oh, because we
Category?
oh, she loved this too, and we all played it together.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
throw the thing back and forth. The thing is a timer, but it's got a digital readout, and you're trying to. It's basically like pyramid, like $25,000
yeah, trying to
pyramid,
get someone to say something.
without saying the actual word.
Oh, I think
We
I
still
know
have
what you're
that thing
talking about.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not categories. It's a catchphrase.
Catchphrase. Yeah.
Catchphrase. Duh.
Oh my God!
Toss
Yes,
it to
and
each
you're throwing
other.
it back and forth
Yeah,
and everything.
that's a fun
Yeah.
one.
No, I remember we played it and we liked it so much that you gave us one. So I think it's probably still in our.
Those were the old days. Yeah.
Goodness gracious! I love games. I
Me
do.
too.
I do love them.
I love a good game night.
Do you still? You're very competitive.
Oh yeah, I love it. I
You
know
like to win games, I
I'm
know
with
that.
so I hang out with the PTA moms. I'm not part of the PTA. I let them give me the juice, and I just am like, oh yes, the principal. Ooh la la. But they all play mahjong, and so I've learned how to do mahjong, which
Okay.
is like
That's the not dominoes, right?
correct.
Right.
It's like all
Pictures.
these weird.
Jewish drink? Jewish
No,
games?
it's like Chinese.
It's Asian. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
Asian,
know
Asian.
From what country, but yeah, maybe China.
I think it started catching on because it was in that movie, Rich Asians or something
course.
like that.
Oh.
Of course.
I remember
A lot of
playing
fads
it
from
on,
that movie.
Computer games, like in the '90s when computer games
Oh, really?
first started. Yeah, I've never played it in person, but I love on games.
Okay.
Big
Yeah, so
fan.
I've kind of been liking that with like the lady friends. But I mean, at home with a 9-year-old, I mean, listen, Parcheesi, Sorry, Monopoly, Game of
I remember
Life,
Sorry. I
Great.
still love Sorry.
anything. We're a
Game of
family.
Life. I loved that one as a kid.
I like it. The little people
guess
are
it's so
so
boring as
tiny
an
and hard
adult.
to get into the goddamn car. I just can't. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta put my readers on just to play the game, just to put little
Oh, that's
people.
real. That's real.
Oh
the
man,
readers.
I got my first set of readers this year.
Me too.
I put them on. I blame my son because he has low lighting in his bedroom, and so at bedtime when I'm reading, I think that ruined my eyes.
Can't see it. Yeah, me too.
And so then I had to get some readers. And
By the way,
first
our
time-
parents told us that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time I put them on, and he saw me in them. He goes, take those off.
Oh my god.
Like, oh.
My aunt saw me
Thanks,
struggling on the latest grand tour, driving around the country, and my aunt in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, said, "Oh, here, just try these, would you?" And they're the full Seinfeld. So these are my
Oh
aunt's
my
glasses,
God,
hence
that's
the
so
style and
funny.
design. But it's but the thing is, they work. I can see everything.
I know.
I can
I
read all
know.
of
You
this.
can. You can.
You got get a little clip light for the book. For reading.
I was thinking the itty bitty
Oh, that's
book
smart.
Yeah, I
light.
have one of those in my room, and it's amazing.
I was thinking about that.
Also, when I had to look at my throat last week, when I was like, "What is going on back there?" I used that little light because I don't have a good flashlight.
So
I
did you have
used
strep?
No, I didn't. I never got strep.
Mono?
No, it was.
Did you have pustules? Were there pustules?
I never got anything like white or anything like
Oh,
that. It
good.
was just red and inflamed. But I think it's like an upper respiratory infection. But I think that it was triggered because I got a massage as part of I have whiplash, so I'm like dealing with that, and I go to the chiropractor twice a week, and so sometimes now I'm starting to get massage. And he went so fucking hard that I was like, my
We're still
whole
talking about
body was-
massage here, right?
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
tell.
yeah.
Could be anything. Could be anything. Hard to tell. Oh, Skycam. Hey, Skycam.
Anyway, it was
Lauren on
real hard.
Skycam up there.
And I'm pretty sure that's what triggered like this severe immune response. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that could even happen.
neither did I until
I would have
happened,
said
and
they
was
didn't
like,
change the
"Can
paper
this
on the
happen?"
thing.
Yeah, I was just
You
saying,
know,
or
oh,
maybe
somebody
you
else.
just had some person breathe on you,
some
and maybe the
germs.
guy just had germs.
I don't know because it was like immediate, and I did read a lot that like you can have flu-like symptoms after a really deep massage. and
Wow.
because of like whiplash is like wild. The things that happen with your body is just like you have to take it seriously.
Oh my
as I
God.
have learned.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if we've done everything because I don't have the blue card. How do you feel?
I feel good.
We've
I feel
done the
like
time.
We've really, I feel like we've checked a lot of the boxes, as
So
you
many boxes.
said.
Talked about Nicole, talked about Grant Imahara, talked about all of the things
Yes.
you've been doing, and you're enjoying your time off before you do something else, figuring that out.
Yes, van. We got the
That
van.
right? We did get the van. We got the drunk driver with the van, which is
You're gonna have to
wild.
post a photo of the van now on your social
I
media.
do need to
Yes,
find it. Like
please
that's
do.
I
that's
wanna
one of
see
those
it.
things I need to like be. Now I have to go home and be like, call my mom, and be like, hey mom, can you dig through the family photo box and find like a picture?
Didn't we grow up with the coolest cars though? Like our generation
We had
has
that,
some
and
really
then we
great
had
cars.
an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
Excuse me.
Hey.
Excuse me.
Where I'm like, yeah, I would love a gold Cutlass Supreme right about now.
Well, it would go with the baby blue. The color,
this
the
outfit.
color,
Yeah.
the color combination of the two would look great together.
I bought this outfit. I had a girlfriend who had a 40th birthday party. I know you're thinking, oh, what is she doing hanging out with old people? She's so young. But anyway, so I know this 40-year-old. No, and. I was like, it's gonna be this like fancy like big thing where she was like wearing a sequins dress. They rented like a dance floor that looked like from Night Fever, like
yeah.
like and everything, and a band
Night
in
Fever.
the backyard.
Saturday Night Fever?
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Night Fever.
Night Fever is what she
I
Sounds
got
like
up
what
to
she had,
decide.
yeah.
Just did this. I knew what it was.
And I was like, but like, you know, you just want to be able to dance and have a good time at the party. So I went online and got matching
Oh my gosh.
That's
Hell
right.
yeah.
We have
Amazing.
these. Wore them to the birthday
Amazing.
party, and I've not worn it since. And I've always been like, "Where do you?" And I was like, you know where you wear this?
Talk show appearance.
Yeah, I like on this set. Of course, it
Perfect.
looks like a stylist was like, and then you're gonna wear a. Is that a
Razzle.
Bengal? A Bengal tiger?
Well, I was trying to figure it out. It
tigers.
seems all floral. There are some
It
tigers.
seems awful.
There's two
All
kids.
floral. All floral. Seems all
Yeah,
floral.
it's,
There's fauna on there.
Yeah.
But there are tigers wandering through the jungle, and there's a toucan. There are a
Toucan
lot of,
Sam
it's
right
full
there in your
jungle.
boob.
I mean, and I think that it was like maybe $40, $50. It was an affordable
Times two.
investment.
Big
Times
fan.
two, exactly.
Big fan.
So I think we've done it all.
How do people follow you? How do we say, how do people?
In a van.
That's right.
Bring me a chicken pot pie in your van, and you'll find
Windowless van.
me. So my socials are really easy. It's truly just my name. So even I think all of them. Like I don't do my Twitter really anymore or my X, but my Instagram and my Facebook is just at Katie Daryl,
Perfect.
KatieDaryl. And listen, if someone really does have a job idea, like. I really love it. I think there was a comedian that once made the joke that, adults go around asking kids all the time, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because they're looking for ideas.
Inspiration.
So, yeah.
I love that. That's a good
If anyone
angle.
has some ideas or needs a sassy person to create content or whatever.
You need another billionaire to co-host with.
Yeah.
There's
your next billionaire.
your model works. We just need to find another
I
billionaire.
know.
Yeah.
I feel, unfortunately, the billionaires these days are getting a little bit cuckoo-luckoo.
Could be. We know a lot of billionaires in the car world.
Yeah?
See if any of them want to do a TV show. Yeah, I mean, we could both work on something together. I need a job too.
Hey.
Me too. I
This
need
doesn't
a
pay
job,
the
too.
this doesn't pay the bills.
Hey, you put me in a room.
We need
I
a
can get
Patreon.
anything.
We need a Patreon.
Yes, we do.
All right, so let's see. Babes and Classics, how do people follow you?
Babes and Classics or at Arielle Zadok.
And what about MC3 over there for a free plug?
MC3 Films.
Very nice. And then we can watch you do your real professional hosty thing on
Capital One Auto Navigator.
Capital One Auto Navigator. I love it.
Have you been switching this yourself the whole time?
What do you think I'm doing? My taxes over here? It's tax day?
Oh my
What,
God!
adding?
I had my old tax lady before she died. You had to go in person, bring her stuff. She had long nails, and she had a calculator.
She
and
would
it
just
had the
do it while you were
paper.
talking?
Yes, and ship. And you have to bring her a bottle of Jack Daniels also to be in her
wow.
good graces.
It's her go juice.
That sounds like me back when I was production coordinating.
Oh my God! Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a nervous habit.
That's hilarious. Yeah, we've got to camera 1. There's Pete on 2. You got your Bailey on 3. And Hank
Wayne's
on
World,
4.
right? Camera 1, camera 2, camera
Right.
1,
Yeah,
camera
exactly.
2, yeah. 1, 2.
Skycam up there is Lauren. Hi, Skycam. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fun.
Is that one?
So do you ever get just like deep in conversation and you realize, oh, I've been keeping it
100%. That's
okay.
why the big TV's over there, so I can
Okay.
see it out of the corner of my eye.
Well, this is look at you doing all the things, multitasking. I'm so
I know. I can do everything Zoom can do. Isn't that amazing? I'm so amazing. And I'm Porsche Life 111. Thanks for watching this evening. And we're good on comments, right? We closed
we
all that
checked
out.
them all.
Awesome. Thanks for watching. This is Katie Daryl. Next week we're back with Sarah Lassick from 000 Magazine. Sean Bishop will be here as well. I think we'll be probably talking about some loss. She's a widow. Also lost her husband 3 years ago. Also in the industry.
Wow.
Very strange how it all works. But we're going to be talking to her. And that's what's going on. Thanks for being here.
Great.
We're good, right? We did it.
Yeah, we're good. We did the thing.
Thanks, everybody. Have a
Love
great
you
evening.
guys.
Good.
Wow. I had no idea. I truly just thought it was like a video type thing. I was like,
I try to not let it be too much.
yeah, no.
It's not,
You didn't have to put in your reader, so you just kind of,
no, luckily it's muscle memory. I know where the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly. Painless.
Totally.
I mean, hopefully. You're no stranger to doing this sort of thing.
I like this thing. Like, I like talking. It's like,
And then mid-action,